Hi there, and welcome to this week's coaching tip. Today we're going to say assumptions never win. You see, in business, it's about understanding how you go to serve people and understand what makes change happen. And the number one thing that gets the consumer to move today more than anything else is FOMO, the fear of missing out. And with the rise of social, what has actually happened is that people now have more FOMO than they've ever had in their entire life, because they get to see all of their friends doing all of this other stuff that they're not currently doing, and then they get all anxious that they're not doing it, and then they get there, then they have to put it on their social so that everyone else can get anxious about what they're not doing. And this is exactly the same thing in what happens inside of real estate sales. Let's say that you're driving down your street and your next door neighbor gets a brand new car. What's the first thing you think? Why don't I have a new car? Then you drive down your street again, and then you start to realize that over the course of the next couple of weeks, everyone in the street is getting a new car. What happens by the time you get to the end of the month? You're like, you know what, that's it. Everyone else is getting a new car, I'm getting a new car too. And that's exactly the same thing that happens in real estate. You see, when a property is actually listed for sale, and if a sale board goes up and an auction board goes up, if you learn to communicate clearly with the people that you already know, and you do it before the board goes up, so they feel like they've got an advantage to developing their FOMO earlier, because all of a sudden they go, why are they selling? Why aren't we selling? Is that a bigger house? Why don't we move into that? How come they're moving? They've only just moved in. We've been here for too long. Why don't we have change? And so all of a sudden that discussion actually starts to happen in the household. And that's why it's worth getting on the phone to ring the people that you already know. So that actually is an important part around what we do, because then when they see the property go to market, they see the open for inspections, they see the buyer interest, they see the day of the auction, they see the property sell, and then you got to ask them the next question. Hey, based on that sales result, what does that now mean your place is worth? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Well, I don't know. Maybe we should come out and give you an idea of the value. Why would I do that? So then you can make some better decisions for the future. And that's actually where the conversation begins. So what a great real estate agent does is they find out the reasons why someone would move. What's the one thing that you hate the most about your current house? Now, that hate word is very emotive, but I love that the most, because it means that there's other things they hate too. And now you actually get to really identify what that is. And if you can develop that little pain point into a frenzy of change, then all of a sudden you're going to make it happen. And that's what a great real estate agent does, is that you actually learn how to work people into that frenzy by getting them to realize how much they hate where they currently are, or sell them on a vision that is so compelling that they just want to move. And that's what you got to do. Process is about simply thinking what I actually do inside of this business and how I make that happen. So here's an idea. When you look through your database of all of these people that are your past clients, if you don't ring them when you list a property in that street, what you are effectively saying to them is, I don't care about you. But if you ring them and say, hey, by the way, I wanted to let you know number 24 has just been listed, open on Saturday, pop down, be good to see you, great to catch up. By the way, how are things with you guys? How's the house? And by the way, those two questions identify the potential dissatisfaction in the client. If they say, oh, it's a bit small, we're not really enjoying it, don't strike then, but you know that you're not far away from actually helping those people to actually work that little problem into a frenzy to get them to move out of their house. And that's what you got to do. You got to find the moments that help people to make that change happen. So I know, for example, that I'd really love to have a sauna at my house, and I can't have it because in the inner city, there's smaller properties and there's not really the space to do it. And if I saw a property with a sauna in my area, I would probably sell mine and buy it. And that's ultimately what you're going to do. It's just a little thing, but geez, as the agents in the local area start working it, it really starts to get itself into a frenzy. So find out what it is inside of the client, and don't ever assume that you shouldn't ring someone because they wouldn't want to move. This is about building relationships, and FOMO does its work. I really hope you've enjoyed this week's coaching tip. I look forward to seeing you next week.